I'm just setting out on my daily exercise allowance, which usually takes the form of a briskish walk around one of many footpaths around the village, or sometimes a road walk. This afternoon I'm going to go to Great Gransden, and I'll be walking past the church, so I'm going to take the opportunity to go into the church and check that everything is okay in there. I'm one of 2 people authorised to do that, and my job is to look into the tower and make sure everything is electrically safe and there's no damage and everything is working okay. Sometimes I take the opportunity to adjust the clock. This route is one that I do every week in any case. I do a circular route across the dole field at Little Gransden, through the churchyard at Great Gransden. There's a car going past, and up to the windmill and back home. It's probably about a mile or so in total, and takes about 40 minutes. Sometimes I stop and take photographs. We're approaching Little Gransden Church, only a few moments from our house. This church, of course, is also locked, no access. We're walking through the churchyard. Got to watch out, somebody's coming in the other direction, so I'll keep out of the way. Safely back on the footpath. Look back towards the church. Back onto the road again. Just come off the road. We're going on the footpath now across to Great Gransden, across the brook. A little bit of water there. And now we're coming onto the dole field, which separates Great and Little Gransden. And in a moment you'll see Great Gransden Church in the distance. Soon won't be able to see it because the foliage on the trees will obscure it completely. Quite a pleasant day now. It started off very dull and we had some rain this morning. But it's brightening up a little bit and warming up, which is quite nice. We often have horses in the dole field, hence the electric fence, but there's nothing here at the moment. Soon be at the brow of the hill, if you can call it a hill. It's a gentle slope, really. And if we turn round, we can see the view behind. just come off the Dole field, coming now through the cemetery, and we're just going to go over another brook. This brook joins the one we saw previously, and we're coming up into Great Gransden churchyard, and there's a gradual climb up to the church. More people ahead, so I've got to keep out of the way of them. I hope they keep out of my way too. So there's the church. Then this steepish climb. It is for Gransden anyway. So we're coming past the church. So we're less than 10 minutes walk from home. But now I'll go to the tower and we'll go into the church from the tower door. Normally go in the north door. So this is my access during the lockdown period. I've unlocked the door, so our inspection today means going up into the tower, up the spiral staircase, we're not going to go into the ringing room, there's no need to go in there. I need to check that the clock is working and everything is safe up here. It's just a visual check. So here's the clock room. And straight away I can see that everything is all right. Clock is still going. Check the clock weights. They're in the position they should be in. The electrical sockets. It is unlikely that there'd be any problem in here, but routinely I'd be visiting this room at least twice a week, and during the period of lockdown it's worth just checking it out. Also make sure there's no damage to windows. I'm going to check the clock is the right time, so we'll resume in a moment. Everything was fine in the clock room. We'll now go up and look at the bells, which again are usually inspected once or twice a week. It does no harm to check that everything's all right while we're here. And what I'm looking for at the moment is not looking at any damage for the bells, but checking that we haven't had any ingress of birds, which can do a lot of damage if they get inside the tower. That seems to be okay, but we'll go and check the Old Belfry as well after this. Well, I've arrived in what we call the Old Belfry. I'm standing on the old timber bell frame. We still have the original number 3 bell in situ, which is used for chiming for services. And I've come up here to check mainly that there are no birds in here. The wiring is in good order, and there doesn't seem to be any sign of any wildlife, which is good. Because if they do get in, they can soon make a lot of mess on the fittings and bring twigs and other debris into the place. So it's important Hear the crows. It's important that we check this periodically, and I do this about every 2 months. So I won't need to come up here again for a while, but it's good to see that everything is in order. And this is the hatch through which I came. Well, I've completed the inspection of the clock and the bells and the Old Belfry. Everything is in order, and I don't need to look at that again for several weeks. I'll return again in a week to check the clock. We're now heading off back home, and we'll go via the windmill so that we have a round trip. We're heading out of the churchyard now into Great Gransden. I'm about 5 minutes walk from the church, and I'm on Mill Road. You might be able to see a head that goes up an incline, and at the top of the hill we'll find the windmill. It's another 3 or 4 minutes walk, so we'll pick up from there in a moment. Here we are at the top of the hill, and just coming into view is the windmill. Currently being renovated. One of the oldest post mills in the country. If we were to carry on through here, we'd come to Little Gransden Airfield, where during the Second World War the RCAF 405 squadron flew Pathfinders from here. And now we'll do a hairpin right, and we'll head off down Primrose Hill. And I'll nearly be home. I'm at the village hall now, and there's the village sign. We'll take a walk around the back of the hall, get a good view of Great Gransden Church from there, although it's in the distance. Wonderful green space we have. The dole field is in that direction. You can just see the church in the distance. Now I'm coming towards the bottom of Primrose Hill. Soon be back on Main Road. The loneliness of the long distance runner. And there's a beautiful horse chestnut tree here. just coming into leaf, magnificent. And we take a left on the way home. Almost final leg home now, round these reverse curves, under another chestnut tree on the triangle between Main Road and Church Walk. And here's a bit of local history. There's a plaque here somewhere. There it is. Planted 1897. So a little bit of local history to finish with. And past here, up onto the footpath again, and just a couple of 100 yards to home.